Hey, good morning guys. Welcome back to Heiko Shaves. It is time for another shave, obviously. As you can see, 5 days of growth in my face. Again, I've started doing that, growing it out a little more, so we actually have something to shave off. A lot of shave channels, they shave so often that there's barely anything there. But I wanted to change that. I want to make a difference for you guys. We're going to put the razor that we're going to be reviewing in this video to work and properly have a challenge. I also want to do something else. I've been asked now a few times to give you guys a shave den tour or show you around. And just in my most recent video, someone asked, hey, can you show all the items that you're actually using so that we understand what they are for? And I will combine this with a little bit of a shave den tour. Don't really have a shave den. This is our master bathroom. I have one sink. I have one cabinet underneath and a little bit of some storage around it. And I'm actually kind of, behind in the power curve here. I wanted to add a little bit more decoration and make it look more like a guy shaving in this bathroom. That's why I started hanging some stuff, but that pretty much was the extent of my efforts. If you guys have any cool ideas, any recommendations, product recommendations, maybe mini shelves or things that I could hang on the wall that kind of makes it look more barbershop-esque, put it down in the comment section, okay? All right, here's my second camera. Oh yeah, and don't want to forget, sorry for the blue finger here. I have had a little incident with my bandsaw yesterday, so therefore the blue Band-Aid, but I put a fresh one on so it's not so ugly. All right, this is gonna be the second camera angle and we're just gonna go around here and look at what I have. All right, so let's get this started here. I put the stabilization on the camera. Here is the stuff that I want to use today. I already put it out, the shave bowl, the brush, pre-shave, soap, and aftershave, and glycolate is always there. Here's an IPA container, just a little mason jar that I just threw the razor in that I want to use today. This is a Yaqi Ultima, and the Yaqi Ultima, you guys remember, I reviewed back in like a year ago probably, and then I found it to be too aggressive for me and I didn't use it anymore, and then I sold it off on eBay. But now I have accumulated the whole lineup of Yaqi razors, and one that's missing is the Yaqi Ultima close comb, and so I bought one off of eBay. It showed up really clean. I gave it a little brush cleanup and threw it into my IPA container. And now we're going to shave with this today. So anyways, let's go back to the shave den. So the stuff that I need for today, my coffee cup. Camera lens cover. So, and then I have a Lazy Susan, and the Lazy Susan here pretty much holds most everything that I use on a regular basis. There's some aftershave on there. There is some shave cream on there. There's even a Barbasol can on there that I haven't used in like a year and a half. Down there is more aftershave and aftershave balm. There's some pre-shave and some stuff. So pretty much, you know, the stuff that I reach for. Then I have a couple little shelves here. There is currently Prep and Paraso. A few more aftershave balms. And then up here, some dental floss and my ice tube and tube 2.0. Then here's my camera setup. So this is a Sony ZV-E10. Pretty capable camera. It's a budget-friendly camera. So let's focus on the camera here. This is how I monitor myself. So I'm not looking at that little screen. I just make sure that I'm in frame and that my settings are all correct. And recently we switched to a different microphone. This is a Sony specific microphone that doesn't need any cabling going into the camera. And you guys told me that the audio is pretty good. So then my mirror here is Heiko, hello. And here are those magnets that I always talk about. I have one magnet that just holds my, let's focus on it, holds my scooping spoon. I bought off of GeoFatBoys ShaveNation.com. It's a smaller, it looks like a teaspoon, but it's much smaller, just to scoop out soaps. And then I have magnets for all my used razor blades. So this is 1-time use, 2-time use, 3-time use, 4-time use. And then when I take it off of here and shave one more time with it, then it will go into my little barrel up here, which is just it's like a piggy bank for used razor blades. All right, so let's move around down here. Stacks of soap containers. I know I could probably do something with those and use them as decoration because a lot of those soap containers actually have quite a cool artwork on it. Then I have my little bamboo shelf here. This is actually a spice rack that I store my brushes in. And then I always have one stand that's just for drying the shave brushes. So when I wash them out, I dry them upside down so all the water goes out of the knot, not into the knot. And then they get stored up here. Then I have a couple of shave bowls always sitting in the corner. My pre-soak container, which is my VW Buzz cup, which I always use for my natural bristle brushes like this one here or that one down there. So everything that needs pre-soaking. Paraso green, the shave cup. Unfortunately, there's no Paraso green in there. I currently have a Williams soap pug in there. Then I have a couple more razors hanging here on the wall. This was like in the very beginning, I thought this was a cool idea to buy those stainless steel stick-on hangers, but I'm not going to continue this. I think this corner here lends itself for some nice shelves where I can then store all my shave supplies that are currently scattered here on my countertop. Down here is an emesis basin. An emesis basin is usually a puke container in hospitals, but this one here is an antique. I bought it at a antique store. It's enameled white, and it lines so nicely up with my sink. And this water here I only use for my shave brush to dip in when I want to rehydrate the lather that's in the brush. In the sink, I always have water to rinse out my razor. Rinse out my razor so I don't have to constantly run water while I'm filming. As you guys can hear, this makes a lot of noise. And I want to spare you guys that. That's why I have started using that for my brush and this for my razor. Hand soap. I always have a brush for my fingernails. I'm very mechanically inclined. I work on lots of dirty stuff, so keeping the fingers clean. That over there is not my toothbrush for my teeth, but this is the toothbrush that's designated brand new when I first put it there for my razors. So oftentimes when I shave, I immediately take the razor apart, take that little brush and brush off all the lather, the stubble. And the same story applies for this little bottle of dish soap over there. I just put a dab of dish soap on that brush, and then I immediately clean off the lather and the stubbles and all that. And yeah, that's what that is for. Over there's my alum block. Here's my pump bottle for PAA Atomic Pumpkin. And yeah, here you see my battery supply for my camera. I don't always have that there. Usually I'm okay with a camera battery that gives me about 45 minutes of recording time. And then here's my phone stand. You guys know that I occasionally use my phone to give you some information, read some history, whatever, that kind of stuff. So that's where it sits usually. And here in the corner, I always gather together what I want to use that day. So yeah, I know it's a little confusing here. Then you see a Philips Norelco razor, which I used to use like 10 years ago for face shaving, but I never really got a close shave out of this. And then from when I stopped doing that, I was really into cartridge razors, all the Gillettes and all that stuff. Nowadays, I use this thing to shave my ears. When you get to your late 40s, early 50s, you will notice that suddenly hair starts growing everywhere. In your eyebrows, you're going to get really long ones, and your ears are going to sprout with hair. And that's what I use the Philips Norelco for. I know, pretty embarrassing, but it's what it is. So Philips Norelco, and then here's the dental cleaning department, and that all gets plugged in up there. Here, this USB charger is actually for my ring light here. I'm going to show you that real quick. So this is the ring light that I definitely need when I'm filming here. I didn't want to turn it on while we're still doing this look around here. So, and then down below me here in this cabinet is where I store stuff. Very simply, Walmart, little sterile drawer containers. Here's a collection of vintage Gillettes and other vintage stuff. Then I have a drawer full of randomness. There's some cheapo razors, but there are also some injector razors living in here and some other things. One further down, Another drawer full of Chinesium. These are all relatively cheapo razors that are just not worth selling off, or, you know, maybe I want to do another shave with them. Here's also the feather razor that we just recently did. Lots of Yaqi razor heads. Here is my collection of blades. Now let's take those out of the way. Lots of different blades and injectors and whatnot, like kind of a mess, but you know, when I need something, I find it in here. What do we have in here? Here's another couple razors, Rolls-Royce razors back there, a couple razors still in boxes. And then I still have some room for expansion down here. Then we have some, you know, just some supplies. Let's brighten this up a little bit here for you guys. So some deodorant, toothpaste, that kind of stuff. Here's our hair cutting equipment. My wife cuts pretty much everyone's hair, my boys, my hair and all that. That always lives here. And then we have some shave brushes and leftovers and stuff that I haven't used yet. And here are the little collets for the timeless aluminum shave brush, or aluminum handle shave brush. Then I have a bunch of shaving samples, shave soap samples that I store in here. Unfortunately, I never really get around to using them a lot. And then down here are Band-Aids and other miscellaneous things. That's where the blue Band-Aid came from. You never know when you're cutting yourself in your fingies with a razor blade, you might need a little Band-Aid. So that's pretty much where I live and where I shave. And that's all I have currently here. Oh yeah, here's the proof razor hanging there on its little mirror mount. I have 3 big plastic toads, the airproof or waterproof variety that I get from Walmart. They have a nice silicone seal. The lids close down really nice and airtight. And those toads are used for all the stuff that I have in addition to all this. Stuff that I already reviewed, stuff that I have not reviewed yet, and 1 container full of just boxes, because if I ever sell off some of this stuff, I would like to have the original cases for it. Alrighty guys, so that was the Shave Den tour. I'll put the phone out of my hand. So let's go back to the actual shave today. Yaqi, you know, they always give you the nondescript cardboard box with a foam insert, and that's where the razor lives. This one here was used, 65 bucks off of eBay. And like I said, it came clean. I still gave it a scrub down and a soak here in my rubbing alcohol just to disinfect. And what else are we going to use? We're going to use Lemon Prosecco by Shannon's Soaps. They are out of, I said that before, Ohio, I want to say. They are closely... not closely, they are in the near vicinity of Timeless razors. I got this soap originally from Timeless when they sent over their review samples, and I really appreciate it. And then I got in touch with Shannon's Soaps, and they sold me the matching aftershave. So I have both now. That's very nice. And since we're using a kind of a fresh scented lemon, it's kind of like, it smells like juicy fruit, like the chewing gum. Very fresh. I figured we're going to do some Proraso Green pre-shave. So now let's get to the part where I explain what things do. I use pre-shave. This is usually in form of either a cream or in some cases, here, let's roll my Lazy Susan around. In some cases, a soap bar. This is mentholated pre-shave soap that you just rub in your face, kind of like to soften up your stubbles. So when hair or your stubbles get wet and moist, they get softer, and that supposedly makes it easier to shave them off. Additionally, the pre-shave also is more or less kind of like an extra layer of lubrication. So for the first pass, when your razor blade has to cut off all this massive amount of material, it has a little bit more slickness, a little bit more lubrication on your skin, so everything glides a little better, right? So you put on the pre-shave. This one here is really just a creamy stuff, nicely mentholated. I really love the scent of Proraso Green. I currently neither have aftershave nor Proraso Green soap. Proraso, if you see me here in this video, you should be my channel sponsor. No, anyways, I'm gonna get some more here soon. in the spring. So lemon prosecco, really nice lemon scented soap. And here you can see I've used it quite a bit. Juicy fruit, it really reminds me of juicy fruit, and the aftershave is just as nice. This is like an artisan soap maker, Shannon's soaps, so there's no chemicals in there. It's really just the few ingredients that you need to make a product like this. It's alcohol free, it's witch hazel water, menthol, optional, and fragrance, glycerin, and Optifen. I have no idea what that is. Anyways, guys, whenever I read ingredients, you guys all switch off and like go somewhere else and do something else. So forget about the ingredients, but ingredient list is very short. Those are very natural products, very well-made products. The brush that I picked for today, since we have a Yaqi razor, I like to use a Yaqi brush as well. This is a 22 millimeter Yaqi brush. They call it Cola because it's kind of like a Coke bottle, I guess. Synthetic knot, very short loft. Here, I'll explain what loft means real quick. If you put those two next to each other, one has a much taller knot. And when a knot is taller, we're talking about the loft. Usually what a taller loft means is that the knot is softer. So the bristles, the longer they get, the softer they get, right? So if you have a short loft knot, they are usually a little stiffer, and I like it when they are a little stiffer because it makes it easier to agitate your soap in your shave bowl and also in your face. So shorter loft means stiffer bristles, which is good. Timeless shave bowl. I've stopped buying more and more shave bowls. I have probably 5 shave bowls. One is a collapsible one here that goes really well into my toiletry bag when I'm traveling. Apparently this is also sold as a cat food bowl, has those knobs in there in the bottom, which helps me agitate the soap during the lathering process, but apparently it also slows cats down from eating too fast. So, you know, dual purpose. Shave bowl, and when your cat is hungry, you get just the kibble out and put that in there. So I have one of those, and then I have just a random selection of plastic, and here is a synthetic porcelain, which is also a plastic, non-breakable. Then I have a scuttle. A scuttle is a shave bowl that has a tank of water around it. So you put your soap in there, you lather in here, and it's surrounded by warm water. So you can create warm lather. I usually use that in the winter. I really like it. Right now it is winter here in Western Nevada, but it's really warm outside and I've been like running hot all day. So I thought cold water lather with a refreshing soap and a mentholated pre-shave would be perfect for today. Okay, so my emesis basin I already explained. The sink, why I do sink water, not running water, is just because I'm filming. If I would be shaving by myself, I would probably turn the water on and rinse off my razor in between passes just under running water, right? So yeah, what else is there to explain? Here is my little Scooby-Doo soap scoop, shavenation.com. It's perfect for this purpose. I just go in there and scoop out a little bit, and then I just take my finger and squish it to the bottom of the shave bowl here so that it sticks to the bottom and it doesn't get wiped up by the brush immediately. And then after I do that, I throw my spoon into my shave water because after use, I like to clean up my spoon. Okay, so now we can already put the soap aside. We have the shave bowl and the soap ready to go. So let's get our face moist a little bit. So I just dip my hands into the still fresh water in the sink, rub it over my stubbles, and then we're just going to take about a fingerful of my pre-shave here, maybe a little more, and rub that into our stubbles. Very nice and creamy, very mentholated, nicely scented. Like I said, Purasu Green is my absolute favorite, all-time favorite. And then I rinse off my hand so I don't have pre-shave still on my hand. So, and now we can already start the lathering. This really is a synthetic knot. It doesn't need to be pre-soaked. I just dip it into water. Then I squeeze out most of the water. And then I go into my shave bowl here. And I'm already messing up my normal procedure here because we haven't even put a blade into my razor yet. But that's okay. We can improvise. So let's take a quick lathering break. The soap can bloom a little bit, let's call it. It's blooming. Razor apart, top part on your hand. We're going to grab a once used feather blade that's looking at me here. High stainless, made in Japan. Drop it onto the top of the razor like that. Grab the rest, stick it on there, flip it over, hold it together, tighten up the knob. And then we're gonna go to, let's do setting 3. That's halfway. 1 through 6. Halfway would be 3.5, really. But let's do 3.5. So blade in there. You can see there is quite a blade gap here. It's pretty impressive. And you know, in the very beginning, I thought this razor was really way too aggressive for me. That's why I gave it away or sold it off. But now I want to revisit the whole thing. Had to spend some money on eBay. I'll do that actually quite frequently. Just go on eBay, type in safety razor, and then look around what comes up. Lots of vintage stuff, obviously. That's why I have so many vintage Gillettes. If you guys want to see more vintage stuff, please let me know down in the comment section. So here, look at this. It's creaming up really nicely. I keep dipping the brush into my amethyst basin to just add water to my liking. You want a consistency like Cool Whip or a whipping cream and a nice sheen to it that tells you that it has enough water in it. And then once I'm happy with this, I oftentimes scrape off a little bit excess from the brush so that I can transfer some into my face without immediately slinging it all over the place, which I'm pretty known for. And then you can take as much out of your shave bowl here as you need. And then you can, again, add a little bit more water, because immediately when you go into your relatively dry face, it will suck up that water and dry out your lather. So you definitely want to add a little bit more water to it. And then you can do a little bit more face lathering to work it into your stubbles. This is a non-tallow based soap, so this is a vegan soap, I believe. And that's all personal preference. You know, some people like tallow based soaps better than vegan soaps. Some people like vegan because, you know, you don't have to use any animal products in the soap necessarily. But that's all up to you guys. You do your own research, what you like. Try out a few different things. This Shannon soap is pretty nice. Let me just look. Is there tallow in it? No. No. Okay. And then clean up my lips. And now we're ready for the first pass. So 5 days of growth. We're at 3.5. And we're going to see how aggressive this puppy is. My bandit is bothering me, but yeah, anyways. Here we go, guys. Let's zoom in a little bit for you. There you go. Wow, the feather blade is not cutting it. Look at this. There is so much material that it just bounces over it. Oh my goodness. It is aggressive. It is aggressive, just like I remembered. So at 3.5, this is maybe even a little too much. I'm going to go down to a 2. And there's quite some tugging going on. A once used feather blade should be still at its prime. Those blades are actually known to be one of the sharpest blades in the industry. And some independent testers have found out that after the first shave, a feather blade is actually sharper than after the after original out of the package. I gotta say, that was not a great result here. So far, I still have tons of stubble in my face. I've had the same amount with other razors and they would take this down like nothing. Don't make the mistake and start pushing too hard. A lot of people, they have the habit of pushing because they used to use cartridge razors, and cartridge razors are pretty forgiving when it comes down to pressure. If you do that with a safety razor, you might nick yourself or give yourself some razor burn. So don't do that. So we're just going to rub the old leather in, kind of like we're using pre-shave again. Look at this. Oh my goodness. That's like the worst result I've had in a long while. This is definitely going to take a couple more passes here. And there was a lot of tugging going on, but that's to be expected since the stubbles are so long. All right, we're going to lather up again. I've explained that before, where when you have a razor where the razor blade gets curved a lot, you have a much milder angle that the razor blade approaches your stubbles. When in this case the razor blade is relatively flat, you have more like a scraping motion. And I think that is the problem with this razor here. So I'm not going to change the setting. We're going to stay at setting 2, and we're going to do let's do across the grain. Yeah, we're getting somewhere now. Second pass is doing it. Maybe the 5 days is just a little too much. We are getting somewhere. Yeah, it's still quite a spicy razor, that's for sure. It's definitely not beginner material. Now I'm going down to a setting 1. Yeah, very good, very good. All right, let's do here at the bottom. All right, so what did I now do? I did the first pass with the grain up here and against the grain on my neck. I just wanted to get stuff out of the way. Then I did with across the grain up here and now with the grain on my neck, and that brought us somewhere. So now we're maybe at about 90%. Here's still a lot of material left, maybe 85% done. So this definitely will require us to do a third pass, which I don't always do. I mean, really for going to work or going out into public and you just want to look clean, it's good enough if you do 2 passes in my book. If you have a really aggressive razor and you only have a day or 2 of stubbles on your face, you might get away with just 1 pass. Matt Pisarcik from Razor Emporium, he's kind of a big advocate of that, to shave more often, but then rather do 1 pass with a relatively aggressive razor, however aggressive you can handle, to really take it down to bare skin in 1 pass and then be done with it. I like I like to take my time. I like to do 1, 2, 3 passes depending on situation. So I'm lathering again a little bit, just to build up more material. Here at the bottom of my shave bowl, there is still lots of soap sitting there. I've taken again way too much, and therefore I'm just lathering it up again. And lather up again in my face. Very nice. The scent, the juicy fruit scent. All right, let's hope this is going to be the last pass. Now we're going to do setting 1. It doesn't actually go all the way to number 1 here. It kind of stops before I can reach it. And we're going to do against the grain. And I got to say, those shiny Band-Aids here, colored Band-Aids, they don't really help with traction on my handle here. But that's not the razor's fault, that's just my own fault. Don't cut yourself with a bandsaw, I can tell you that. Luckily, I had a metal cutting blade in my bandsaw. I do a lot of, not a lot, but like a little fabricating, steel fabrication, welding and all that. And so I usually have a metal blade in my bandsaw. It is at setting 1, and I still feel like this is a little too harsh. This is just not very smooth. I think there is too much blade exposure. I don't know. So maybe the reason why I wasn't a big fan of the Ultima close comb is still there. I haven't changed my mind about it really. I'm not saying this is a bad razor, and I guarantee you there are tons of people out there that like it and use it daily. But I've now compared it to so many other razors, and pretty much everything that's sitting here is in some shape or form performing better than this. I mean, all the other Yaqi razors, even the Final Cut, the zinc version, the cheapest one of the bunch here, are smoother, a little bit more refined feeling. The Torx, which looks like really absolutely crazy, insane, aggressive slant razor, is really nicely mild at setting 1. The slant razor, that's kind of the close cousin of this one here, the Yaqi slant, it's miles better than this. The open comb is miles better than this. I just don't know what they changed here. Oh, we wanted to do against the grain. Yeah, my Band-Aid is not making life easy. Alrighty, I think we're gonna leave it at that. Let's just do a quick little inspection. Yeah, that's pretty good. I still have a little bit here, but I don't want to overdo it and then have razor burn and ingrown hair and all that stuff that you can get from, you know, shaving too close. Yeah, I think we call it a day. Very good, very good. Very good result. Not so pleasant in the execution. I gotta say there is something off about this. I don't know what it is. It might be just a shallow flat angle. So if this would be curved more, if you look at, I like to point towards the Rex console here because it is such a significant difference in curvature. Of course, this is a slant razor, so don't confuse slant with straight close comb, but just how the blade is curved more. And so that gives you a shallower angle of attack rather than this that this one here does. So geometry is everything here in this game. We have talked about what a blade exposure is. So if you put a straight edge from the close comb to the top cap and create a straight line between those 2 points, and the blade sticks out beyond that imaginary line between top and base plate, then you have a positive blade exposure. And this one here is absolutely positive blade exposure. Just cut into that cardboard here. So the blade is sticking out past this line. Positive blade exposure. And that is another, you know, if you start at setting 1, you want to be probably at a neutral or maybe slightly negative blade exposure. And then as you go up in aggression and you bring the base plate down, that blade exposure will just be more exaggerated as that base plate goes down. And so if you start out with a positive blade exposure, it will just get more aggressive as you go, or it will get worse as you go. If you start out with a neutral blade exposure at 1 and then slowly go into the positive blade exposure, I think it's a better approach. And so this one here is still a little too harsh for daily use. Let me rinse off real quick. All right, guys. So we got it done. We got cleaned up, 3 passes, no major injuries. Skin is maybe a little red from trying too hard, from tugging, even though we use a feather blade. You know, feather usually doesn't tug, but I guess if you have 5 or 6 days of growth in your face, it's just the price to pay. So now we're gonna take this very natural witch hazel based non-alcohol aftershave. Sometimes they are not homogenized, so water and oily substances will separate from each other, so you have to shake that up a little bit. And then we're gonna dump this into my hand like a good puddle. Perfect, way too much. Yeah, no burning sensation whatsoever. A lot of people in videos always use an alum block. Here's an alum block. That's aluminum salts. And what they do is they suck together little micro injuries that you might have. And if you have lots of little nicks and cuts, it will give you like a burning sensation. So a lot of YouTubers, they will rub this across their face to figure out, okay, how irritated is my skin? But what you're doing is you are rubbing aluminum salts on your skin. And there's still a debate going on, you know, between the scientists, how harmful aluminum is in your bloodstream. So if you use a lot of aluminum-based deodorants, for example, rubbing this under your armpits or using alum in your face, especially after shaving and you actually have small injuries in your face and you rub aluminum on it. Yeah, there is still a debate going on. Some countries have outlawed the use of aluminum in cosmetic products, creams, lotions, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's not 100% fully proven what the effects of that is. Just be careful, you know, be informed about those topics. Know that there is a debate about this going on. Do your own research and look into the products that you are actually smearing on your face, because everything that you put on your skin will ultimately end up, at least in part, in your bloodstream. You know, so you definitely want to make sure you don't put too many chemicals in your face. That's why alum block I really only grab if it's necessary. Like if I have a bleeder here somewhere and I want to make it stop bleeding, it really sucks it together quickly. There are other products. For example, if I can find it quickly under my band-aids here, it's a gel based, made by Purasso. It's a gel. It's pretty much the same stuff. It contains, doesn't even say what it contains. It's the same as alum, just in a gel form. And then there is a thing that's called a styptic pencil. I have one somewhere in a travel case. I'm not gonna get that out. It's also the same. You just dab it on your little bleeders to make them stop bleeding. But just be, you know, just be informed about what you put on your skin and make your own decision. I'm not telling you not to. I'm not telling the other YouTubers not to use alum block anymore, but I'm not gonna use it in every single shave if I'm not bleeding anywhere. So we put this on and my skin is pretty happy about it. It doesn't leave behind like a smeary, nasty substance. It dries off pretty nicely, soaks into the skin, calms down the skin. The witch hazel in here is known to be a facial toner. It also tightens up your skin. So if you have lots of wrinkles around your eyes, you might put a little bit on the wrinkles. Just joking. And you know, it's like the poor man's Botox. Anyways, so that's it. Pretty much we did the whole look around my shave den, showed you how I store my stuff, you know, and how much stuff I actually have sitting around here. It's pretty incredible. I have actually stopped buying things just for the very reason that eventually we will have to use up those soaps and those aftershaves, and I can't keep buying over and over and over and more and more and more. It will just, you know, be way too much. If someone wants to send me something, or if a company says, hey, we've seen your YouTube channel, do you want to try out our soap? I'm not going to say no, obviously. No money exchanges hands. I haven't done any paid advertisements. I haven't done any videos that I've gotten paid for by manufacturers. But if they want to send me a free razor or a brush or a soap and I can try it out, they have no influence on what I'm saying about those products. And that's how I roll. I don't want, you know, I don't want sponsorships and turn this into paid advertisement here. That's why I usually, when I put links down below, it's just Amazon affiliate links. I get some commission from Amazon for leading people to their products, but they are completely, you know, they don't care if I lead you to buy a bandsaw or a shave soap. So it doesn't really matter. So the last product that I usually use on a daily basis is Glysolid, which is a glycerin-based cream. And since I have a little bit of dry skin here in my face, I just put a little bit of that in the problem areas, and then my skin is perfectly happy for the day. Alrighty guys, I hope you guys get something out of it, my shave den tour and the explanation on how I use the stuff that I have sitting around here. One thing that you guys always see is my ever-growing razor collection here on the side. These are really the ones that I like. That's why I have them around. I have more razors in other places, in boxes and whatnot, but these are the ones that I would actually reach for. And then I just grab a used blade here off my magnets on the mirror and put it in one of those and shave in the morning. Alrighty guys, that's pretty much all I have for today. I will see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your week. Take care. Bye.